So, what's the one thing that separates a dream from a reality? The one skill that turns every I should into an I did? We're talking about the master key to a completely transformed life, self-discipline.
And let's get one thing straight right from the start. You don't have to be the most talented person in the room. Nope. If you're the most disciplined, you become absolutely unstoppable. That right there is the ultimate advantage.
And we need to clear up a huge misconception about this. Self-discipline isn't about being harsh on yourself or some kind of punishment. It's actually the exact opposite. It's about finally deciding to treat yourself with the respect you know you deserve.
And that brings us right into our first big idea. Think about it for a second. When you keep promises to other people, you build trust with them, right? Well, when you keep promises to yourself, you build self-respect. Discipline is just that, the daily practice of showing up for you.
This is the perfect way to picture it. Imagine your goals, all your best intentions, are on one side of a huge canyon. And your accomplishments, the life you want, are way over on the other side. Well, self-discipline is the bridge you build, plank by plank, day by day, to get across. Without that bridge, your dreams just stay a nice view from a distance.
You know, at the end of the day, we all have to choose between two kinds of pain. There's the short-term pain of effort, the pain of discipline. That's the pain that builds you up. And then there's the long-term crushing weight of regret. And that's the pain that breaks you down. The choice is yours every single day. And this just nails the point home. It's about saying, hey, I love myself too much to let me skip this workout and feel terrible later. You're choosing your long-term happiness over a short-term craving. And that right there is self-love in action.
Okay, but putting that self-respect into practice means winning a battle that's happening all the time, the one inside your own head. So that's where we're going next.
Seriously, I want you to stop and really ask yourself this. Just for a moment, if you actually did all the things you said you were going to do consistently, what would your life look like? Who would that person be?
So let's get specific and make that vision real. This is your battle plan. What time does that disciplined version of you wake up? What do they automatically say no to? You know, like that extra donut or just mindlessly scrolling on your phone. The clearer you can see this ideal self, the easier it is to start fighting for them. And this right here is the absolute core of that inner battle. Your feelings in the moment, your current self, will always crave comfort and ease. But the person you want to become, your future self, needs you to put in the effort. Discipline is simply the act of choosing to side with your future self over and over again.
Now, always siding with your future self, that can be exhausting, right? So what if you didn't have to fight so hard every single time? What if you could kind of put your success on autopilot? So the secret to automating all this isn't some giant heroic effort. It's all about the power of small, consistent wins. Just commit to 5 minutes of exercise or reading just one page of a book. See, every time you keep one of those tiny promises to yourself, you're building momentum, and you're literally reinforcing your identity as someone who follows through.
And here's a fantastic little trick for that. It's called habit stacking. Let's say you want to start journaling. Well, you stack it onto a habit you already do, like making your morning coffee. The new rule becomes, after I make my coffee, I will write one sentence in my journal. Your coffee machine becomes the trigger. It's so smart because it totally removes the need to decide what to do. And speaking of making things easier, your environment is such a powerful tool for this. You can literally engineer your surroundings for success or for failure. If you want to eat healthier, don't rely on willpower alone. Just make healthy food the only easy option in your kitchen. You want to design your space so the right choice is always the path of least resistance.
Yeah, this whole thing is about one idea: eliminating friction. Every single extra step, every little barrier is an excuse for your brain to say, nah, maybe later. If you want to work out at 5 a.m., you better lay your clothes out the night before. You've got to remove every possible excuse standing between you and the action you need to take. All right, we've got the mindset down, we've built the systems to help us, but let's be real. There are still going to be days where it all just feels like a slog. This is where we learn to embrace the grind.
Let's have an honest talk about motivation. It's great. It's a fantastic spark to get you started, but it's only about 1% of the entire equation. Discipline. That's the other 99%. It's the hard, unglamorous work of feeding the fire long after that initial excitement has faded away. So how do you get better at the grind? You train for it. Think of this like taking your willpower to the gym.
By intentionally choosing small, uncomfortable things, like taking a slightly colder shower or not pulling your phone out when you're waiting in line, you're building that mental muscle. You're preparing it for the much bigger challenges ahead.
This quote just gets right to the heart of it all. Your comfort zone, well, it's a nice place, but nothing ever grows there. Real growth and real comfort cannot exist in the same space at the same time. Progress only ever happens when you're willing to step into what feels difficult and unfamiliar.
You can have all the mindsets, all the systems, all the hacks in the world, but eventually the only path forward is to just do the work, to take action without waiting to feel like it. In the end, execution is the only thing that matters.
So we've covered the what, the why, and the how. Let's pull this all together and talk about what happens next for you. So let's quickly recap the pillars we've just built. First, you have to reframe discipline as what it really is, an act of self-respect. Second, you have to win that inner battle by choosing your future self over your current feelings. Third, automate your success with smart systems and good habits. And fourth, you have to learn to embrace the grind by training for discomfort. Because really, that's the bottom line, isn't it? Every single goal worth achieving has a price tag, and that price is effort and consistency and persistence. The rewards are absolutely immense, but they are never, ever free. You have the tools now. The only question left is this: are you willing to pay the price?